Hello everyone, this is Yvonne from Yvonne Ceramics. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to glaze a leaf impressed vessel or plate like this one here. You can see the beautiful veins of the leaf on the clay, and also this mug here with the maple leaf on the mug. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos each week. Let's take a look at the bisque pieces that we'll be working today. So this one is a heart-shaped leaf imprint. You can see the beautiful veins of the leaf imprint onto the clay. And then this one is a hand-built mug with a maple leaf on this side and the same leaf on this side. It's a little bit more faint than this one, so we'll start with this one first. My plan is to use dark green underglaze wash and fill in the leaf first, and then wipe back, and then glaze with a Celadon glaze for the leaf. What I have here is underglaze. This is a very dark green underglaze. Going to scoop some into my paint palette here. Going to add a little bit of water. Then I'm going to mix it. The reason why I want to dilute my underglaze and make it more like a wash is because I do want to make the vein more darker after glazing, so that it shows up better in the glaze. So that's why I am using an underglaze wash so I'm using a wash instead of just painting with underglaze. It's just because some of the grooves are really small, and with a more liquidy underglaze, it just gets easier to get into those grooves. But I don't want to add too much water, because I do want to retain that green pigment of the underglaze. Okay, so that's pretty good, just a little bit of water. So what I do is I'm just going to paint it on like that. I'm using a somewhat kind of smaller paintbrush because there's some areas I want to fill in under the bird here. So I'm just going to quickly paint it all over the leaves, like so. And you can already see the pattern of the leaf showing up quite well with the underglaze paint on. So this is what it looks like with the underglaze wash paint all over the leaf. Next, I have some clean water here and my elephant ear sponge. The reason why I'm using an elephant ear sponge today is because I like the sharp edges it has on this sponge as compared to the round sponge, which might be hard to get to with like these grooves area. So that's why I'm using my elephant ear today. So I have already soaked my sponge in water. I'm going to squeeze out the water, and then I'm going to wipe it back. See, some of the glaze has already come off, which is great. This is what I want. And as you can see, with the groove, it already has the stain of the green underglaze, which is perfect because we want to have that stain on there. So after glaze firing, it will really show up. Those veins will really show up. So you can see with the elephant ear here with the corner, I can really get into underneath the bird. But then of course, if your hand-built plate doesn't have a sculpture like the bird here, it's just a flat leaf, you can just use any sponge you want. Okay, so we're pretty good now. You can see that it looks really beautiful. Some people like to just glaze it with clear, with the green underglaze underneath, but I like to use a Celadon glaze because I want to have more green color on the leaf. So this is what it looks like after wiping it back. And then next I'm using a fan brush. This is a small fan brush. It helps me to get into the underneath the bird area, and also takes in a lot of glaze as well. And I'll be glazing with Amaco Celadon Jade, so it's a darker green color. I like this green because it has a darker green color and it matches with my darker green underglaze as well. If I use a lighter green Celadon, it might not match with the underglaze color. So I'm gonna stir it a little bit and then I will apply it on the plate carefully. So with a brush-on glaze, you need to glaze it 3 times. But then because I don't want it to completely cover the green underglaze underneath, I'm only going to do 2 coats of the Celadon glaze. So after glazing the surface, I'm also going to go to the side as well, because it just looks more finished when you glaze the side too. Make sure after you finish glazing the first coat, you need to let it dry before coating the second coat. If you're impatient, you can do a few glazing projects at once. Or you can use a hair dryer to dry between the coats. Okay, so I'm gonna let it dry until I get to the second coat. So I finished glazing 2 coats of this, so I'm going to let it aside and I'm going to work on my second project, which is the hand-built mug. I'm going to first glaze the inside. Since the maple leaf it's green in the spring and summertime, I'm using the wasabi Amaco glaze on the inside as a liner glaze. And then on the inside, I'm going to make an underglaze wash for the leaf as well. But let's do the inside first. I've already finished glazing the inside with the wasabi glaze from Amaco. Next, I'm going to do an underglaze wash for the leaf. So these are maple leaves, these 2 here. And right now it's fall, so I feel like I want to do like a red and yellow wash on the leaf. So for the underglaze color, I am using Spectrum Dandelion for yellow and Fire Engine Red for the red. And like the green one, I have added water to make a more liquidy wash for the underglaze. So what I'm thinking is I'll start with the yellow. And I'm going to start with the tip here. Just going to... So this time, instead of wiping it back, I'm not going to wipe out. I'm just going to leave the color as is, because I do want the color to show up. So this is more like a kind of like a watercolor effect for the leaves, because it is so light in color. So I'm just carefully painting the leaf. I find it easier when I paint with like kind of with the paintbrush sideways instead of pointing up and down. It's just easier for me that way. I'm gonna go ahead and keep painting it. So I finished with the yellow underglaze wash, and I left some part of it red. Next I'm going to use my red underglaze wash to paint this part red, maybe overlapping a little bit with the yellow. I want the red to be darker here and then kind of fan out a little bit, so a little bit more water to make it more liquid and lighter in color. And then I'm going to wash my brush now and kind of try to blend these colors together. A bit more water to blend the colors together. So here there's a little bit white spot. I'm gonna add a little bit more yellow here. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry a little bit before I add more colors. Now let's do the other leaf. Now I'm going to do green on this side. So I finished painting the green underglaze wash. Next I'm going to wipe it back, because without wiping it back, the underglaze is kind of covering the whole leaf pattern. So that's why I want to wipe it back to review that leaf pattern. I'm using different part of the sponge while wiping back, so I'm not smearing green everywhere on the mug. Especially this mug is made of porcelain, and everything shows up in porcelain, so I have to be very careful when I'm wiping it back. I want to show you after wiping it back that this is what it looks like. It's really beautiful. You can see all the veins on the leaf. It has a very rustic look on the leaf. And then looking on this one with the yellow and red, it's also very nice, very fall feeling. I like the two contrasts here on the mug. And since this is a porcelain mug, I'm going to just clear glaze on the outside. I want to show you these vessels after glaze firing. So you can see on this plate, you can see the beautiful veins on the leaf. The deeper the vein, the darker the color, and the ones that are smaller, you can still see them here. And as for this one, I use Underglaze. You can still see the vein, the main one here. And this one is really nice and beautiful. It's very vintage-like on the mug. So that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.